like South Africa, sport plays a very, very special role in our political world, in our human world between us.
Sure.
In our DNA. It's a very different, and it is. There's no other country that has the 1994 transition, the 95 World Cup win. There's no country that has that historic sport.
Yeah.
And the best of it all is, you always think about it, Mandela, to be locked up for the long that he does, but that he had this vision of sport being able to change the game. To change the country.
Wow.
Give me a bloody CEO that has that type of vision and has that type of... They normally think product and wealth and money.
Yeah.
Where he was just like, this could be the because
the savior.
It's 100%. Remember, he had to take the helicopter ride to meet them on the field the day before. He landed literally on the rugby field. I don't know if
Can
you
I
remember
tell you
that.
my Nelson Mandela story?
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
So maybe that's what made me sort of feel not so hurt. After I tore my ligaments, I was invited to come and have lunch with him. So I went to his house in Gauteng. Doesn't stay too far away from me. I stay in Killarney in the flat.
Across the road.
Just across the road, you know what I mean? Just bigger yards and everything. And I rock up to his house. And I walk in, and my goodness, I've never felt so important. This man literally called me a maestro. He said, "How you doing, maestro?" So me, I'm standing there. I'm a closer man. And he's like, he's an elder to me.
Yeah.
He's my grandfather. So I'm like, Tatomkulu, grandfather.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm out of words. And this man was just like talking to me like I'm this greatest thing ever. And that is what was special about him. I mean, I felt so comfortable. And when I shook his hand, I was like, I shook the hand, I shook the world, And his warmth that he had, and we had these grandkids, and we're sitting all there, and we're having lunch, and he was just literally he told me a story, which was a very interesting story, because I know that he is a well-calculated man. He doesn't just tell you a story. So it's a story about him coming to Johannesburg with, back then, the King Daluonga, who was supposed to be the king of one of the chief kings back in the Eastern Cape, of the Xhosa people that were Tembu Royal, and he didn't want to take his stand as a king, so he decided that he wanted to pursue law and pursue politics and push for this reconciliation and liberation of people. And then he says, and then the people were sent to come and fetch him, and I was standing there, and he looked at me and he thought that I was going to do something. This is what he says. And I said, you know what, this is almost like beyond my pay grade. You have to go serve the people, and if that means that our relationship never becomes the same again, but you got a bigger purpose than I do. And I was just sitting there, and I was just thrown backwards. I was like, why are you telling me this? And I'm sort of getting it now. It's starting to clear, like really what was meant. And I've sort of sat down and sort of meditated and thought about it. And it's just what an occasion. I mean, for that, I'll always be grateful for the injury.
You'll see a very special when you go to my office, Bob. A signature from him on a personal photo. That he did. My dad played he was at that stage the only white Zulu speaking lawyer, advocate, and eventually judge. That Nelson Mandela appointed him back in those days, and he could write full Zulu. He grew up in KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, and Vryheid, Pongola. So he could, and for whatever reason, and there was obvious reasons to it. That my dad eventually then played quite a big role, and we won't go into any of that today. But I've got his photo next to my grandfather that played a role in the apartheid days, early 40s and 50s, and then Nelson Mandela and my dad that played a role after that. after 1995.
Amazing.
Actually started in the late 80s with him. So it's a very special part of my life. And
Oh, that's amazing.
I've got him in my office. I stare at that photo every single day.